Welcome to a deep dive into the Knights Templar.
Ooh, Templars.
Yeah, pretty exciting as
That's
always.
a good one.
We'll be taking a close look at excerpts from templarios.pdf
Okay.
to guide us through this journey back to medieval Europe. Think castles, crusades,
Right.
and this legendary order shrouded in so much mystery.
Absolutely.
Were they really devout warriors? Or was there something more?
Good question.
Well, let's find out together.
To understand them, though,
Okay.
we need to really picture Europe at the time.
All right. Paint me a picture.
So imagine emerging from the chaos of, well, you've got Viking raids, you've got Muslim conquests,
Yeah.
and the Christian kingdoms. They're on the rise.
Okay.
Cities, they're becoming these bustling hubs of trade.
Interesting.
And the church is at the very heart of it all.
It's like a turning point in history.
Absolutely. A world on the brink of huge change.
And then, bam, the Crusades.
Exactly.
Pope II, he declares this holy war, promising forgiveness of sins for those who fight to reclaim the Holy Land.
Powerful motivator.
Huge impact, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely seismic. It just ignites this fervor across Europe, fueling religious zeal.
Yeah.
But also, and this is key, it contributes to the rise of a certain knightly order.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So 1119, right.
Mm-hmm.
In the aftermath of the First Crusade, you've got 9 knights.
9 knights.
9 knights. They make vows to protect these Christian pilgrims making their way to Jerusalem.
Ah, brave souls.
Very brave. And their headquarters, well, it was the former site of the Temple of Solomon.
Of course, hence the name.
Exactly, Knights Templar.
Okay, so starting small,
Yeah.
but their reputation for bravery and piety, it spreads like wildfire.
Oh, it does.
What was their secret? Just pure devotion.
It's complex. Devotion's there for sure.
Yeah.
But 1129 rolls around. The Council of Troyes officially recognizes them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they set out these strict rules: discipline, poverty, obedience to God, the whole 9 yards. This structure, coupled with their military prowess, it attracts support from all over Europe. Donations flood in, they're able to build fortresses, they acquire land. But this is where things start to shift. They go from humble protectors to something much grander.
Ah, the seeds of their wealth and power.
Sown pretty early on.
Makes me wonder, how did this wealth affect their role in the Crusades?
Hugely. They evolve into this elite force. They participate in key battles of the Second Crusade. They even escort the King of France himself.
Wow.
Think about that, a relatively new order wielding that much power. It also feeds into their involvement in the Reconquista, the Christian reconquest of Iberia from Muslim rule.
So not just in the Holy Land, they're shaping events across Europe.
Absolutely.
But let's talk about the wealth. Poor knights, they were called?
Right, a bit of irony there.
More than a bit, I think.
You've got to remember, these vast donations, they became major landowners, lenders to European monarchs.
Really?
Even the French crown. They were incredibly shrewd with their finances, almost ahead of their time.
Interesting.
They even developed a system for pilgrims to deposit valuables in Europe
Okay.
and withdraw them in Jerusalem using letters with secret Templar seals.
That's like, what? A precursor to modern banking.
Exactly.
Amazing how innovative they were.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing.
Right. What about their setbacks, the military ones?
Well, they had stunning victories, of course, like their defense against Saladin in 1177. Think about it. This small force of knights and soldiers against this massive Saracen army.
David and Goliath.
Exactly. But they weren't invincible. The Battle of Hattin in 1187, that was crushing. They lost, and Jerusalem fell to Saladin. A real turning point, not just for the Crusades, but for the Templars themselves.
Yeah, it feels like the tide is shifting. How did this loss play back in Europe?
Well, it cast a shadow, cracks start to appear,
Yeah.
That immense wealth and autonomy they'd built up, it starts to breed suspicion, resentment even, especially from European monarchs who were, let's face it, often in debt to them. And that's where, well, someone like King Philip of France comes in.
Oh, King Philip's.
Yeah, deeply in debt to the Templars, right?
Right.
He sees a chance, an opportunity with this growing unease towards the order.
So instead of paying them back.
Exactly. He decides to take them down.
What were the charges? Was there any truth to them?
1307, Philip launches this wave of arrests.
Wow.
Heresy, blasphemy, depraved rituals, all sorts of accusations.
Serious stuff.
Oh yeah, but the evidence, largely based on forced confessions.
Forced.
Through torture.
That's awful. What about the Pope? Did he just go along with this?
Pope Clement V. He was skeptical at first.
Understandably.
Philip, though, master manipulator, he presents this, well, seemingly compelling case, using those coerced confessions, plays on existing anxieties about the Templars' power.
So he manages to pressure the Pope.
Effectively, yeah. The Pope ends up endorsing the persecution.
So, a mix of politics, fabricated evidence, papal pressure.
A recipe for disaster.
What happened to the actual knights? Were they all condemned?
Many imprisoned, tortured, yes. But the trials had different outcomes depending on where you were in Europe.
Interesting.
Outside of France, many were actually acquitted.
Really?
Not enough evidence suggests the accusations were, well, politically motivated.
Ah, I see.
But in France, it was relentless.
This brings us to Jacques de Molay.
The last Grand Master.
His story is quite tragic.
Oh, it is. De Molay's story is about defiance, standing up to tyranny.
Powerful.
He confesses initially. Under duress, of course.
Try and protect others.
Most likely. But then, in a dramatic turn, he recants everything publicly.
Wow.
Proclaims the order's innocence, condemns the torture he'd endured.
Incredible courage.
It sealed his fate, though. 1314, burned at the stake in Paris.
A martyr.
To many, yes. His death, and the wider persecution, it effectively ends the Knights Templar as an organized force.
What happened to all their wealth, their assets? Just disappeared.
Not quite. Philip IV seizes a lot of it in France, of course.
Of course.
But their holdings were vast. Tracing it all is complex. Some went to other orders, the Knights Hospitaller, for instance, some absorbed by various monarchs across Europe.
So their wealth is almost as mysterious as their downfall. What about the impact of their dissolution? Did it leave a void?
Definitely felt. They financed trade, warfare, even royal courts.
Significant.
Hugely. Their disappearance disrupts all these systems. Economic ripples, political ripples, their absence in the Holy Land, that weakens the Christian presence there, too.
Contributes to the decline of the Crusader states.
Exactly.
Amazing to think, starting with just a handful of knights protecting pilgrims.
It really is. They were more than just warriors, though, weren't they?
True.
Bankers, diplomats, builders, early capitalists even, in a way. Their story offers a glimpse into a complex world, medieval Europe, faith, power, ambition, all vying for dominance.
And their success, it seems, it was their undoing. That wealth and influence, it bred envy, suspicion. They were vulnerable to, well, people like Philip.
Unfortunately, yes. But centuries later, we're still captivated. Why do you think that is?
It's a good question. Why are we still so fascinated by them?
Well, I think it's partly the mystery.
Right, the secrets, the hidden treasures.
Exactly. All those rumors of secret rituals, connections to groups like the Freemasons.
Like a real-life Da Vinci Code.
Exactly. But beyond that, it's a timeless story, isn't it? Good versus evil, faith versus greed, power and corruption. Those themes, they resonate with us even today.
And let's be honest, the knight in shining armor, that image has a powerful hold on us.
Oh, absolutely. But as we've seen, the reality is far more complex. Their story reminds us that history isn't black and white. It's a blend of courage, ambition, faith, betrayal, and in the end, tragedy.
Like a tapestry, but with some threads missing.
That's a great way to put it. History always has more to uncover, more to question.
It really is.
Yeah.
And after all these years, they still spark debate. Books, documentaries, even fictional works. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's that fascination with the past, those period shrouded in mystery.
Yeah.
The Templars, they offer a bit of everything. History, adventure, intrigue, real people living extraordinary lives, fighting in distant lands, amassing wealth and power.
And then that dramatic downfall.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that their story isn't finished, it's got those gaps, those ambiguities.
Absolutely.
It just makes you want to dig deeper.
Totally. The unanswered questions, the rumors of secret rituals, hidden knowledge. It fuels the imagination.
Like we're all amateur historians.
Nah, in a way.
Trying to put together this puzzle with missing pieces.
Right.
Each of us creating our own version of the Templars and what they left behind. Maybe there isn't one answer, though, one absolute truth.
Maybe not, but I think the Templars teach us something important. Critical thinking.
Okay, how so?
We should approach historical narratives, even the well-established ones, with a bit of skepticism.
Don't just take things at face value.
Exactly. Look at the evidence, consider different viewpoints, come to your own conclusions.
History isn't static. It's always being reinterpreted, reevaluated as new evidence comes to light.
Right, and who knows, maybe one of our listeners will be the one to uncover something new, a hidden document, an artifact, something that sheds new light on the Templars.
It's exciting to think about.
It is.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Knights Templar, I think what stands out is that their story isn't just battles and intrigue.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the power of ideas,
Mm-hmm.
the complexities of human nature, seeking knowledge beyond the surface.
And never forgetting that the quest for truth, it's an ongoing journey. You need curiosity, open-mindedness, a willingness to question everything.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I hope this deep dive has sparked some curiosity out there,
You too.
inspired you to explore further.
Definitely.
The world of the Knights Templar, it's vast,
It is.
full of intrigue. Keep questioning, keep exploring. Who knows what secrets you might uncover?
You never know.
That's all the time we have for today. Until next time, keep seeking the truth.